Hey, how you doing, man? I'm Don. Good evening. Good, good evening? Can I take a seat? Can you? I'm just gonna sit down. Proceed. Okay, here it is. So this story follows Chris, a young black kid who just graduated high school but still living with his parents in a middle-class neighborhood where there's strange alien activity being reported. I presume much unlike the normal alien activity. So Chris then stumbles upon some alien technology, which include weapons and a time machine. Chris decides to use the time machine to go back to 15th century Africa, pre-slavery, to warn the Africans there of what's to come. He helps them to train and prepare for the battle of a lifetime. But through the course of his journey, he's learning about the beautiful culture, traditions, and customs of what is now forgotten, and he's reconnecting with his roots. He sees a woman that looks just like his mom, and we can even hint at her being his great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother. It's like Avatar, but instead of fake animated blue people, just real black ones, you know? May I make some minor suggestions? Oh, sure, what you got? I'd first like to change Chris's residence from middle-class suburbia to the inner dwellings of Los Angeles. And instead of going back in time to Africa to save his people, he goes back 2 weeks to save his cousin type Hookie from being slain in a gang-affiliated drive-by in which he fails consecutively in a recurring time loop. No? And also, that sounds like a very forgettable movie I've seen before. Fine, I yield. Really? That easy? Okay, he can go back to Africa. But upon arrival, he loses the time machine. And when he retrieves it, he notices it has been destroyed. It was whipped to pieces by an intelligent, swift-thinking, ever-cunning slave master. They weren't slaves yet. And with the machine now destroyed, Chris gets taken onto a slave ship in which he'll be called the N-word several hundred times throughout the film. And I'd really like the cinematography to hone in on the pain and trauma that these displaced Africans are experiencing. And sharks. Sharks? Yes, I'd like to see quite a few of them being thrown overboard and eaten alive by megalodons. Yes, we'll cast Jason Statham as a slave master, but only this time he'll be working with the Megs. You are brilliant! This is a great script! I wrote none of that. Okay, he goes back in time, and the machine does break, but he also saves several tribes. No. Alright. He goes back in time to slavery in the US. The machine does break, but he frees a couple plantations. Fine. He saves one slave, the machine doesn't break, and he comes back. One slave? Yeah, just one, but he comes back. Okay, but under one condition, I get to name the movie. Alright. What you thinking? Slave Saver.
And as always, please like and subscribe so YouTube can start paying me. You dig?
Nah. One slave? Slave Saver. Just one. And he comes back for vengeance.